Here, and you know what we're here to do? We're here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate because nearly 58 years ago today, the CBS network brought us the first family of fright. They brought us the Munsters. And also recently, Rob Zombie released his original take on said first family of fright with the Munsters movie available now on Netflix. Gentlemen, are we ready?
We're ready.
Indeed.
Cue your Herman laugh. It's the Munsters night. It's video store clerks. Join us.
It's not a legacy I want to leave behind, but I am Chuck Nasty.
How the fuck am I out of whiskey already? This shit can't be any fucking good.
Welcome to the store.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. The chat is open. The store is open. We are here. Alexis, welcome to the store. And she says, the Munsters was my favorite TV show as a kid. Mine too.
Paige is here.
Oh, hey, Paige.
All right. So tonight's
I
going to be a little
can't see
different.
I can't see the comments.
They're open now.
Yeah, she prematurely posted on us.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, now I see it. Now I see it.
There you go.
Okay. Now
So tonight's going to be a little different. We're not doing the top 3 gimmick tonight. And I think this is the first TV show we ever covered.
I believe you're right.
And I think the first flat out review we ever did of a new movie.
Yeah.
So we're going to have
Weird.
some fun.
There wasn't a whole bunch of homework to do this weekend.
We're going to have some fun. This will be
Fucking
interesting.
thank
because
God.
We're going to start. We're going to start with the new movie, and then we'll go to the TV show. Sound good? Great.
Hey, Captain.
Concur.
Well, let's wet our whistles, so to speak.
Show a clip of the new movie that Rob Zombie did.
Let's.
Hey, numbskull!
What?
I said, hey, numbskull!
Excuse me, sir. Can you speak up?
I assume you are the Herman Munster character I've been hearing so much about lately.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one. When they made me, they broke the mold.
With you in it, I presume.
No! I think I was out by that point.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Love it.
It wasn't horrible. I didn't hate it. It was
Okay.
just kind of meh.
All right. Before we really get into this, let's do this real quick.
We're going balls deep into this.
We are going to go balls deep in this. Like, I mean, deep into the. Never mind. Anyway, so we saw the trailer for this movie. What was it, like a month or so ago? Whatever.
Yeah, I think it was actually the same night we did Rob Zombie Night. I think it had just
was.
came out.
I think you're right on that one. Okay. We heard that the Munsters was getting made,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately it was like, "Oh, should I be excited?"
Yeah,
Because
we weren't sure for a while.
You know. And then they came out with the trailer, and we're all like, "Oh,
You know, the teaser
oh
trailer
no!"
looked good, but then
Teaser
the
trailer looked good.
Trailer is what bummed us out.
The actual trailer was just kind of one of those things. You're like, "Oh, I don't know." What? This is a film that has been about as anticipated as Hellraiser has been. In the horror community, because I mean, the Munsters is one of those that all of us we were raised on the fucking Nick at Night, watching the reruns and all that. It's one that I still watch on a regular basis with my kid. This is not the typical Rob Zombie movie that everybody. I don't know why. it's weird because you can't really see somebody like Rob Zombie making a friendly fucking film. When we first heard, oh, Rob Zombie's making the Munsters, it's like, oh, here we go. He is going to destroy our childhood. Yes, he's a huge Munster fan, but he is going to destroy it. He's going to destroy everything we know of this. He is going to make it a violent, bloody mess, and kids aren't going to be able to watch this, and it's just going to ruin whatever. And the more that was being released of it, the more excited but still nervous I was. It's PG. Rob Zombie made a PG movie about, okay, all right. And then that's where I'm going to leave off. Dave, continue now.
Okay. This was a fan film. And I could never, ever knock somebody for making a movie about a TV show they love. That's cool. But yeah, like you said, there's been mixed feelings for probably about a year and a half since this was announced.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't hate it. And we talked last week when we agreed to do this episode. It was like, I'm not going to hop on the bandwagon because everybody's going to bash it. That's what's going to happen. Everybody's going to bash it for a couple of days and then it's just going to go away. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like the only things that bothered me were Herman's voice. They did that way too much.
Mm-hmm.
I understand we're going to make him childlike and all this, but you overplayed that hand way too much.
They kind of did. It was kind of overwhelming how much they actually used that.
Yeah.
The way he was, it's just kind of like, well, he wasn't always like every 5 seconds being, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Sherry, I feel like she just did an impression of Lily the whole time. And I swear to God, I think there was a couple parts where I saw her mouth in the lines.
Oh, this is where we're gonna differ.
Okay, all right, I'm good with that. I like it when we disagree sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't hate it. I'm not like, oh, you pissed on my childhood and all this. It was nothing like that, because the Munsters has tried to be rebooted very many times. It's about like every 10 years or so somebody tries to reboot it. And there have been a lot worse reboots than this.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
there was. Oh, sorry.
Let's look at one.
Oh God, which one is it?
In 88, 89, this happened, and I must confess, I used to watch this show every week. I think Chuck knows what that one says.
We're the Munsters.
We're the Munsters.
We went to sleep many years ago, and we woke up with a brand new show. We're the Munsters.
We're the Munsters.
Oh, yeah!
So I'm not mad at Rob at all.
I forgot about that fucking reboot on that show.
I think it came on Saturday night
God.
at like 7 when I was a kid, and then it got moved to a local channel, and it came on at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, so that happened.
So bad.
There was another reboot in the 90s, and I can't think of the actor's name. The one that was the lead, head vampire from the Lost Boys. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I forget his name.
Yeah, but I was thinking, unless I'm wrong, unless I'm thinking of a different one, but I think I know which one you're thinking about, or you're talking about. But there's one where the guy playing Herman Munster is the asshole in a lot of TV shows and movies. He's always the hey guy. I can't remember his fucking name, but do you have a clip from this?
I don't. Not the one from the 90s.
Oh fuck. Okay, because I was like hoping that you did. Because can you look that up or something? Because now I'm really curious on who that was. Because I was thinking it was that guy. And if it's the dude, because they both look very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the one. Because wasn't that like a Christmas special or some shit? Like the Munsters Christmas.
Yeah, that was another thing. Yeah, they did that too, and of course they did the movies with the original cast.
Right.
I used to rent them all the time. The Munsters Revenge, just the cover, always got me.
What was I looking for?
Oh. But yeah, and Rob, remember, if you want to be mad at anybody, if you are mad about this movie, be mad at Universal for funding the film. Don't be mad at Rob, and I'm not mad at Rob at all. I couldn't be mad at anybody because he's been wanting to do this for a long time. I think
his name is Edward Herman.
Yeah, I think that is him actually. Yeah.
Is it the guy from Lost Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit. Okay. I wonder if the other guy played in one of the shitty movies that I'm thinking of, because I could have swore. See, I don't know.
And
yeah, that's actually.
I barely remember that show. I don't even know if that got picked up. I don't remember. It happened in the 90s. I can tell you that. That's all I know.
95.
95? Yeah. Well, anyway.
Either way.
The story felt like it was all. I would have rather seen more of Grandpa, because Grandpa was actually really good.
He was great.
I would have rather seen more stuff with him in the lab, more stuff with like the Dracula.
Well, it's also the beginning of it, though. I mean,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that this might get a sequel, and I'm actually kind of hoping for it.
I think it will too.
Because and that's it. I would have rather seen Marilyn and Eddie in it too.
Oh, we will. I think this is going to be.
I think this would have turned out better had it been the reboot of the show. If it was a show instead of the movie, if he would have just gotten like 9 episodes, gave it a shot and see how it went.
Well, okay. First off, we're gonna go ahead and if you're watching, you haven't watched it, we'll try our best not to give any big spoilers out. But if we're gonna talk about this movie, there's gonna be a couple. Nothing too crazy. I like the fact that we kind of, there's some unanswered questions that we got, like that from the old show that were brought into this movie, where it's like how they got their pet. You know what
Spot.
I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, Spot. Which I thought was fucking great. There was some other
human form.
Yeah, just different things like that. There was a lot of throwbacks, even down to what the movie really was. The plot was the movie, with Herman being duped by cousin Lester.
Right. I could have used more of him too. He was pretty funny.
Yeah, which he was in. I mean, he was. There was Lester was in 1 or 2 episodes of the original show. But he wasn't always a main thing. He wasn't really in much. But there was an episode of something like that similar that happened. Because Herman always got duped. But I thought this show or this film really, like, I think it stayed true to what the show was. I mean, the goofy humor, the costumes. The voices, Herman's voice was a little too high pitched. I realize not everybody's got that deep voice that that Ed Gwynn had, because I mean Ed Gwynn was fucking amazing, but hey, I had an issue with that. Not so much that he did a horrible job with Herman, but. Or Fred Gwynn. I said Ed Gwynn. Yeah, my bad. I'm getting Ed Gein and Fred Gwynn. Yeah, I'm getting people mixed up. Whew, so it's hard to speak. Yeah, like I liked everything about this, actually. I mean, I want to go ahead and address this because I was really kind of worried about it when you were talking in our group that we have about her voice and stuff. Honestly, I think she did a great job. I think her and Grandpa specifically, she acted like Lily Munster acted. Just all that shit. Like, I mean, she acted like her.
Some of it was a bit over the top, though. Like, there was points where like I kind of like bought her as Lily, then other times I was kind of like, get real, bitch.
Well, just like the Herman Munster thing,
right?
Like, okay, there's a bit. It's almost like.
He just annoyed me most of the time. Like, I thought he played him well, except whenever he talked. Like, that voice killed it for me.
That's probably my only qualm I had about this one.
Like I thought he
like I
played
said,
Herman good. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but like, just that voice and just because like Herman was a goofy fuck. Like,
yeah. I mean, we also got to see what Herman was before he was put together.
yeah,
He was a stand-up comedian that was horrible. Like
it made sense.
that makes perfect sense. It stayed true to the show with just a little bit of Rob Zombie sprinkle on top, and I thought it was great. My son liked it. We put it on last night, and he was just cackling the first 10 minutes of that movie. He thought it was hilarious. The stuff with Count Orlok, which I admit I laughed a lot too.
He was funny. Yeah, when she was on that first date with him in the beginning,
Yeah.
I actually thought that was pretty funny.
I laughed a lot. The scene that you showed, I actually cracked the fuck up when I was watching it, just because it's that classic humor. Like it's goofy, just like the show was. It's not. A lot of people, that are bitching about it, just don't get it. Like Rob Zombie, I mean, he pretty much, if somebody was going to do this, Rob Zombie did it, and I think he hit it out of the park, more or less than anything.
Yeah, I was telling Dave earlier, like I think a lot of people that are going to bash it are the ones who haven't watched the Munsters in the last 10 years.
Well,
To actually remember how the TV show was.
yeah, and I
'Cause
think
it was goofy. And
I
quirky.
think it's his audience that's coming over, and they're kind of younger.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem. I think he should have just taken his name off of it.
Well,
Maybe just see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I think he'd have a hard time bringing his audience over to something like this.
Like, was I mad at it? No. Like, do I think I'll watch
Yeah.
it again? Maybe sometime. But I mean,
Oh.
there were a lot of parts in that movie. Like, it just seemed like it drug on there for a while. Like, there was like about an hour into it. I was like, how much is left? And I like look. And I'm
Yeah,
like, fuck,
it
really?
was slow to me, and I think I said that in the group chat too.
I think a lot of that
It
was
was-
based on like all the scenes that you really didn't need, like the fucking all the dance scenes and stuff that really nothing was going on.
it could be my short attention span too.
I found myself like I mean, it is a long movie,
It is.
2 hours long, which they could have narrowed it down to an hour and a half. Granted, but I was pretty entertained for the most part. Like I didn't really feel like I was bored or anything. I was kind of just curious about all the characters and everything. Like I was pretty. I don't know. Watching it also made me feel like a kid though, because it reminds me of something that like there'd be like a special on, like on NBC or whatever. It's like, oh, the Munsters movie, blah blah. And like I don't know. It just felt like a Halloween movie you'd watch that Disney came out with or some shit.
It had like a Goosebumps type feel to it.
Mm.
Yeah, right? Yeah, like because it was kind of it's cheesy. Like they're in the fucking Monster Bar. That's great. That's great shit. Count Orlok is disco dancing or whatever the fuck he's doing. I mean, I think he hit the nail on the head when it came down to like the ridiculous, goofy ass humor, and that's what I appreciate more than anything from it. I ate my words because we all three were like, all right, we're gonna get our fucking boxing gloves on, and we're just gonna give it to this movie. and I watched it. I watched 20, 30 minutes of this movie, and I was like, I'm not hating it.
That's how I think about the whole
I hate it.
movie. Like there were parts where I was watching it and I was like, but then I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was just no.
I also
I really thought I was gonna be the nice one. I thought I was almost gonna have to be the referee between you two bashing the shit out of it.
me too.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
I think that's probably all thought. I don't know, like I didn't like it, but I didn't really hate it, but I didn't mind it. It's just one of them weird neutral kind of movies where it's like, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I probably won't ever watch it again, but I don't know. It was just kind of.
The more I've talked about this movie today, because I don't know, I think I said it before we got on here on Graveyard Talk earlier. Me and Whitman talked about it on there as well. And the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the more I really love this movie. I'm not even kidding. I think Rob Zombie. I want to see a second one. Because it shows the beginning of things, and I want to see how But the only question I have though is if he makes a sequel, he's got to bring Marilyn in. But what other blonde does he know that's going to play Marilyn, because he's already got Sherry Moon playing Lily.
Don't
What's he
ask
gonna
that
do?
question. Damn well she's gonna be playing 2 parts.
Yeah.
Oh, see that I swear to fuck if he ever gets that stupid idea. Now, if he was to ever do that just to piss everybody off, and he said that just to make everybody mad, I might give some respect to that. But I hope he wouldn't do that with this.
I think the only way a sequel will get made is if we're going to have to crowdfund.
I don't know.
I really don't think a studio is going to give him money ever again.
I don't know. See, that's the thing is, like, I noticed that a lot of people, like on Facebook and whatever, who have had, have had the same thoughts that we all had this entire time. Oh, this movie's going to suck. It's going to suck, blah, blah, blah. Are eating their words now. I have had nonstop fucking people, like, scrolling down, people who were like, I thought I was going to hate it, and I loved it. It was so cheesy, and it was just like watching the show, but whatever. And so I don't know. A lot of people are changing their tune. I think it's going to be one of those that grows in popularity as time goes on. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be one of those movies. This is a movie that you can quote me on it. You can mark me on this. I'll watch this every Halloween because it has that kind of feel to it. This will be forever now. I'll mark it right now. This is a new family favorite classic in my house. That's how much I actually like this movie.
I'm still shocked. I'm speechless.
I loved it. I thought it was. I think he did a good job.
No, I'm good with it.
There's
no sense in bashing it. If you want to see people bashing it, just search under YouTube. You'll find
it. Yeah, it doesn't take. It literally takes like 2 minutes, and you're gonna find
that's why I was like,
review.
I don't want us to do that again, too. I don't want us to be like everybody else. But I'm really surprised you liked it as much as you did.
I loved it. I loved it, and I think we could all agree that the award for greatest character in that movie is Grandpa.
See, like, I kind of had a feeling you were going to like it too, though, because whenever me and you talked about it, like, I remember us talking before about how we both watched like the original show, The Munsters, and then as I was watching it, because I knew you hadn't watched it yet whenever I watched it, because you said you and Dax were watching it later the night, and then I threw it on at 4:20, and then as I was watching it, I was like I could see like the TV show kind of similarities, and I was like, Chuck, don't like this shit too.
I completely. I saw
it had the same feel as the show, kind of. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah,
it wasn't far off.
I like the fact because you remember because there's a scene in it where Herman is in a band. Little spoiler for people that don't know, he's a rock star in the movie. And he's wearing that skull shirt, I think, and like the hat and the leather jacket. He's playing guitar in that band in the movie. I remember him wearing that outfit in the TV show. I can't remember if it was because he was in a rock band or if he was a race car driver or something, or he was a motorcycle guy or some shit. But and there was that's actually something else is the costumes, because I saw every costume that the little, where they're first going on their dates and they're going all places. The different outfits he wore were all outfits that Herman Munster wore in the show.
Right.
I thought it was cool. And also, I'm pretty damn sure the scene where they're coming off the plane and over the loudspeaker, you hear a woman's voice saying, da-da-da-da, Transylvania. That's the original Lily saying that. I don't know if that's from another, if I can't remember if that's from one of the episodes of the show or what, but that's her voice. Like, if I'm correct on that, then that's pretty cool. That's one thing about Rob Zombie that you have to give him credit for. He will make sure that he throws those homages in there. He will throw in those actors in there that, he makes sure that we realize that where everything came from, if that makes sense.
Patrick was in it too.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I must have spaced out and missed it.
Oh, and fuck.
Like the Hobo guy or whatever.
Elvira herself was in
Yeah,
it.
Cassandra Peterson. I
Not-
saw her.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
saw
oh
her.
shit.
Yeah, not as Elvira.
Whenever they
but-
showed her, I was looking and I was like, that chick looks familiar. And then
Yeah.
she smiled and I was like, there she is.
Nah, yeah, we all know love those pearly whites.
Right.
Yeah, it was just a fun movie, man. And you know, I gotta say, like, I was on one couch and Dax was on the other couch, and we're watching this movie. We have the lights off and stuff. And he ended up actually passing out the last 20 minutes of the movie. It was getting late, and like I said, he started cackling the first 10, 20 minutes of this movie, and that made me enjoy it even more. If that makes any sense, because like I remember being a kid and watching the show and laughing about it, and just thinking it was just so funny how Herman was such a goofball, and like
Right.
how Grandpa and him always went back and forth and shit. And I don't know, something about hearing my kid, because he gets into the show too, and that's what made it. It wasn't really a fight. Be like, hey, there's a monster movie, and he's like, oh, really? So it was all good. It just made me feel like, okay, you know what? It's the beginning of the fucking movie. So far, I'm not mad about it. And maybe we shouldn't take it so seriously. Maybe we should just have fun with it. My kid is, and that pretty much made me watch this movie and laugh my ass off because I wasn't taking it too seriously. And that's the problem. Too many people are taking too many things too seriously. How about we just laugh? How about we just look at the fucking cheese and we smile?
Oh, it would have been cool if he would have went a different route and made it like super gory, but then it really wouldn't have made sense with the TV show timeline.
I'm always curious about that side of different, TV shows. Like, what's the dark side of this? Yes.
Right.
I agree that would be cool, but it would still also be one of those things. It's like,
I also thought we'd see Lily's sister. They didn't really mention Lily had a sister. But I know that's where what Marilyn came from. That's Lily's sister's kid.
yeah. Do they talk about her in the show?
Yeah, they have a couple times.
Is she actually in the show?
I don't think you ever really seen her.
Huh. See, there's something else that, like, if he was to keep doing these, because he brought back
that earlier today too, and then they even mentioned that because somebody said, "Well, it's your sister's kid."
I never even thought about that. That's kind of funny. Emma Roberts would be. I could see her being a good Marilyn. I don't know if her attitude and Rob Zombie's would get along though. I'm pretty sure he might kill her, or vice versa. He's kind of become a little bit puss in his old age.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
I want to go ahead and strike my comment.
I'm kind of mad that I'm not mad at it in a way. Like,
Rob Zombie, if you happen to watch this, I don't think you're a puss. I'm a long-time fan. You're just an asshole. Go on.
Depends what kind of mood he's in. Speaking of Grandpa and Herman going back and forth.
Because I happen to have the solution to this whole dilemma.
Grandpa, you aren't going to try to talk me into shooting myself again, are you?
No. I'm going to build us a car that I'm going to take to the drag races next Saturday, and that I personally will win back our car from this lead-foot Baylor by beating him at his own game.
Al Lewis and Fred Gwynn. You couldn't have found an any more perfect duo to play those parts than those two guys.
Was Car 54? Where are you? Where was that before? That was before Munsters.
That was before.
Yeah.
That was, and they even referenced that show, and he did in the movie too. There was some part towards the end, I think, when they yell "Car 54, where are you?" I did catch that.
Yeah.
I did catch that part, and they reference it in the Munsters show too.
It's whenever Herman goes back outside and sees all the humans.
I remember in the show, the episode when they referenced it, because I remember I caught on to it. I was like, oh, and I was trying to explain it to my kid. You couldn't get a better duo.
Because I think Fred was 6'5" or something, and he was actually pretty skinny. He lost a ton of weight during the show, I think, because he had to wear like layers
Yeah.
of clothes and all the makeup and all those things. And Eddie, there was an Eddie before Butch Patrick for about 5 minutes. The kid's name was Happy, and they said he was the meanest kid they ever met.
Yeah, he looked different too. Like
There was
he had the
wait.
teeth.
Yeah,
in the front.
he was doing this thing where he was acting like a werewolf. And Butch
Right.
Patrick came along and was like, I just see him as a regular kid.
Yeah.
And I think that was the way to go, because the whole like core of it is they think they're normal. They think everybody else is a monster.
Yeah. They think Marilyn's hideous.
Yeah. Marilyn's like a fucking mutant compared, and they feel sorry for her. You know, when she tries to get a date.
Yeah. Oh, she just. Lily. You know, the one day, you know, that somebody will find her, or they've made comments about like somebody being blind and things like that. It's just like, as a kid, as a kid watching, I never understood. I was like, but she's not ugly, you know.
And based, of course, on Marilyn Monroe. But did you know there were 2 Marilyns?
I did not know that. No.
I didn't know that neither. I swear to God, if you didn't know, you couldn't tell. They even had the same build. The second Marilyn that came in even fit into all the first Marilyn's dresses.
Oh wow.
I don't remember the actresses' names. I don't remember either one of them. But anyway, the first one flew in from New York. They were like, come do this pilot, come do this pilot. She was like, okay, I'll go do it. Well, it ends up getting picked up. And she's out there for weeks and weeks. She's missing her boyfriend. She's homesick. And the rest of the cast is just like, you need to do something. She's in tears every day and, you know, do something. So finally
she's really bumming us out over here.
Yeah, she's killing the mood, guys. Do something.
This
And
is a
that's
comedy.
what this is going on. Oh, and Lily's first name, she was originally called Phoebe. I have no idea where that came from. Was there a character from a horror movie named Phoebe or something? I just don't know how they got Phoebe. Where did that come from?
Yeah, that's random as shit. I can't think of.
Another actress played her, but she looked just like Morticia from the Addams Family. So they ended up recasting her. And she had an all-black wig at first, so she looked just like Morticia. And that's when they gave her the like the Bride of Frankenstein streaks and all that. And I always thought Lily was the backbone of the family and Herman was the heart. That's how I put it.
Yeah, Herman always meant well. You know, and the thing is, me and Dax actually watched. There's I think it's a TikTok of this clip going around, but I hate to admit that I watch TikTok, but I do. Leave me alone. But we saw the episode the other day where Herman's telling Eddie about you know, don't judge somebody by the way they look. You know what I mean?
In my head, Chuck.
Yeah, like, well, see, like always, brother, always. You know, he's telling him about how, you know, everybody is beautiful in their own way and don't judge a book by its cover and all that stuff. And it means more because they don't get it. They don't think they are anything, you know. But I don't know. That's just something that just always like, because I even like use it as an educational thing when we watched it. I was like, now, do you hear what he's saying? Like, you know, I don't know. It's
words of wisdom.
The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. You can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.
Message.
Yeah, like that's crazy. That is fucking funny. Yeah. I mean,
Like,
you know,
before that message came out.
It's such a good show. I mean, because it really does. It really has withstood the test of time. There's so many people that I know that watch this show, and they have their kids watching this show. It's that Addams Family. I mean, I think the Munsters gets a little bit more notoriety these days, like than Addams Family does. But I think Addams Family is slowly rising up as well.
It is.
Which I love both. I love both of them. You know, which they've got that new movie
Wednesday?
coming out. Well, yeah, is that the one
Yeah,
with?
I think it's a series, right?
Yeah.
Called Wednesday on Netflix.
Is that the one everybody's bitching about the guy playing Gomez?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Luis Guzman.
Really? Probably. Who knows?
I don't. I'm not.
More like Gomez does in the comics. Whenever
Yeah, he looks exactly like Gomez does in the comics.
And the cartoons. I remember watching the cartoons when I was a kid. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that they were getting ready to do that. I'm not a big fan of the actor himself, but you know, it's kind of the same like here. It's like, okay, which route are you taking? You know, Rob Zombie chose to go a little bit on when it came to Herman. He went with, okay, he's green. Maybe he's a little. I think he could have went a little grayer in that green. I think he's a little too bright. You know what I mean? Like I think if you just kind of deaded his skin up a little bit, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Like the scenes where like they showed him in black and white in the Rob Zombie movie, like he looked pretty damn close to exactly the way he does in the show, where they actually filmed in black and white.
Like, I'm curious if the DVD Blu-ray release has a black and white version on it. I wonder.
I don't know. That's
You
why
can totally
too, because of the bright colors that this new fucking Nick Cage Dracula movie will be black and white. At least I'm hoping.
Yeah. Now, I gotta say though, I mean, like, are we all in agreement that like when it comes between Addams Family and the Munsters? Because I mean, you got two of the weirdest families, you know, two horror families.
You're either a fan of one or the other.
I mean, you had the Munsters who were funny, they were goofy, they were just like a normal family, but not. And the Addams Family were a little darker. You know, the siblings were always literally trying to kill each other. You know, Gomez was a murderer. Like they constantly always referred to him killing people. Oh, you're a real lady killer. Acquitted. Little shout out to Chris Payton there if you ever watched this episode. You know, I love them both so much, but man, Munsters just always beats it. It
was always my favorite.
Yeah. Like, oh God, that's gonna be the. Oh, should I even jinx it?
We had that conversation earlier today that
Munsters versus the Addams Family.
You always liked one more than the other.
Yeah,
I remember the Munsters being on more than the Addams Family.
Addams Family was on. Growing up, it was always on TBS. That's where I watched a lot of it on.
I think the Munsters was on Nick at Night a lot.
Munsters were on Nick at Night. I think that Addams Family was too much for Nick at Night.
I think they played them back to back, if I remember.
They might have. That's been a minute.
It got a lot of syndication. The show was only on for 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It had 70 episodes, which that's
like fucking 35 to 40 episodes.
That's American television for you. They always.
So who ran longer?
I'm not sure. I don't know how long the Addams Family ran.
Because I almost want to say that the Addams Family had about the same length. I don't think they only had, which is so weird when you get older, because you're kind of like Addams Family all the way. Hey, I love the Addams Family, but Munsters always hit me a certain. I was always a fan of Frankenstein, but I love the morbid aspect of the Addams Family so much, like just that darkness. Like at one time,
there was only 2 seasons as well.
At one time, me and my kid's mom, when we were together and stuff, like we always considered ourselves the Addams Family, because we were like we were always the weird family on the street. You know, my son's very, very similar to Pugsley in a lot of ways, and my daughter's very similar to like Wednesday. So you know, oh fuck.
But the show probably would have ran longer, but somebody came up like a thief in the night or a bat in the night and stole all their viewers. Because that was when Batman, the Adam West Batman, came out and just everybody. And because Batman was on ABC and the Munsters was on CBS. So they just came and game over, man.
They both ran from 64 to 66, but the Addams Family came on a week before the Munsters did.
Oh wow! So yeah, it was kind of a. I wonder if the Munsters was created because of the Addams Family. Like
they were probably both getting produced at the same time.
Because
they tried to get the Munsters up and running for years and years and years, because of the Universal monsters. I think I think that company purchased the rights to the Munsters, and they were trying to do something else with it because the Munsters was almost a cartoon when it first came out.
Which makes sense. Was there ever a Munsters cartoon?
I don't think so.
How funny is that? Like, think about how crazy that is. I mean, because Addams Family had a cartoon, and the thing is, though, is like the Munsters would be the one you think would have like multiple cartoons. You got Frankenstein as the dad. You've got the fucking, the Countess as the mom. You got the Dracula as the grandfather. The Wolfman child. Like that's a cartoon. And they're like, hey, let's go to the Addams Family. Siblings that try to kill each other constantly, and a really strange, weird, dark fetish that the parents have.
I mean, even Teen Wolf had a cartoon.
Yeah, it did.
See, I don't, because we mentioned it before, I think, on here, and I can't remember if I ever saw the Teen Wolf. Can you find it on YouTube or anything?
Probably.
I'm sure it's probably on there.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go on a search for all these fucking like cartoons that we've mentioned before. Like, just like, wait, that was a cartoon? Oh shit, that was a cartoon? Oh fuck. Oh yeah, there's that one. I'm gonna watch the search.
Have to do a movie cartoon episode.
Oh shit. What, cartoons made from movies?
Yeah. Like
I can dig that.
Teen Wolf and Police
Swamp
Academy.
Thing.
Yeah.
The Police Academy one. Dude, I don't remember a thing about that cartoon, but I remember I watched it. I remember loving those movies as a kid.
It was goofy.
Yeah.
Dave's got more clips. What?
They've got what?
Clip.
I got a bunch of them.
Okay.
Who wants to see the car?
Real quick. Hold on.
Hold on. You jumped the gun.
I was just going to say, but while I'm thinking of it, talking about the Universal Monster stuff, something else about the Rob Zombies film that I loved, and my son loved completely, because I got him into this to all three of these movies. But the fact that the cousin or whatever he was, the creature from the Black Lagoon, because we're sitting over there, I'm watching, and I see he's come up. I was like, Bubby, do you know who that is? And it took him a second, and then he's like, Daddy, I want to watch the Creature from the Black Lagoon movies again. And I'm like, that's right, son. We will watch those movies. We will have a movie marathon of those movies again.
I watched them last night.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Creatures from the Black Lagoon, one of the greatest of all time. All three of them are good, but the first two are the best. The original, obviously.
Yeah, I watched the original last night.
Hell yeah, definitely. I thought it was badass. Anyway, play the clip, sir.
Roll it.
Okay, you can bring her out now, Grandpa.
Wow, what a reel! I bet this Dragula can wipe anything on the strip.
I ask you, is this an automobile or is this an automobile?
That is an automobile, sir.
Hell yeah.
I'm surprised I don't see more replicas of that floating around.
I don't know how expensive it would be to actually make one of those that actually is halfway decent.
We talked about the cartoon. Well, check this out. This is a live action cartoon.
Grandpa, you forgot your
Parachute.
He won! He won! He won!
Now for the parachute.
So ridiculous. But that was the outfit that they revamped in the movie where he's playing guitar and stuff. Yeah. Oh, it's fucking great. It's such a good show. Man, I was trying to think the other day of some episodes that I really enjoyed. That stuck out the most. There's the one where Herman gets confused for the college basketball player.
Yeah, I just watched that one earlier. Actually, that's funny. Moose.
Oh, really? Yeah, I always like that one. The one where Grandpa's a bat and they take the wrong bat. That's a good one.
The one where Eddie's dealing with bullies.
Yeah.
I always like the one where like a lot of the sports ones, like whenever he becomes the wrestler to make an extra money for the week, and then he was like, he had like that fucking Jason mask like from part 2 on pretty much. He just wore like
over his head.
Then he was all the matches because everybody was like, I need to win this match or else my kid's gonna get kicked out of school, and he'd feel sorry for him, so then he'd get pinned real quick.
Ronnie B.
Why it gets so quiet?
I was reading.
He screamed out some names and
then just got woo. I'm trying to think because there's so many good episodes. I mean, just classic ones.
I remember one from the Munsters today when Herman takes a karate class.
Yeah.
And he chops the bag in half. Yeah, I used to actually watch that show all the time.
I have been like the last couple months actually. Like,
it's always on in my house. It's always on.
2 to 4 episodes a night.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like back and forth things. I'll watch it. I'll usually get the itch at my ass to like just put them on whenever, if I'm like cleaning or whatever. Me and Dax are hanging out, and then I won't for a while, and then usually around this time period anyway, Munsters always come on. Like, and so does Addams Family. Like,
never I've been throwing them one though, just kind of like for background noise when I'm drawing and shit.
Yeah. So fun. I mean, it really is.
Like, see what's going on to understand what's going on. I think you're just like listening to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When last Halloween, when Dax we got back from trick or treating, turn on Halloween or not Halloween shit. Turn on the Munsters, and I was in there cooking and stuff, and like I didn't even have to fucking see it to know what episode it was. You know what I mean? It's so good, and everybody's like, one thing I always love about that show is everybody's reactions when they see them. Like, they're all like terrified of them and stuff. Well,
I always like the episodes where Herman goes to the doctor.
Yeah, because the doctor can't. He's just like, oh god, yeah, months. Oh, like the one with where Eddie's like he's got the beard, and he's got the bag over his head, and like they're the
boy episode.
Yeah, I think it was. All right, well, maybe
shorty, so Grandpa makes him a shake to make him taller, but then he grows a beard instead.
Which has probably one of the grossest scenes ever in the Munsters, where he's in the fucking, it comes off in the soup, and it's fur. It's so gross. But the doctor, when the nurse like tells him like, oh, it's Herman Munster, he's like, oh god, and then they're like, oh, it's his son. He's like, he has a son, like, yeah, I mean, like, and I can't remember that guy's name, but he was one of. He was one of the comedians that came out of the closet quicker than a lot of people did. I can't remember what his fucking name was, but he was always fucking hilarious on anything he was on. But yeah, just the reactions and stuff. Yeah, the doctor episodes are always funny because I mean, let's be honest. If you're Herman Munster's doctor, there's a lot of things doctors do that you probably wouldn't want to do to a man at all, but to Herman Munster. All right, well, let's check that prostate. I mean, there's some things that you hats off to doctors and.
So they did have a Munsters cartoon in '73, Mike says.
Only a 1 hour special. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to try to
I've
find
never
that.
seen that.
I don't ever have either.
Yeah, because I didn't know about that. I would like to check that out. That'd be cool. Just out of curiosity,
Let's right after this.
Right. I wonder if it was I wonder if it was the actual voices of the actual people, or if it was newer people doing the voices for them.
I don't know.
For a cartoon. It's 72 or 73. It's possible. It's very possible. Okay, so here's something. What was your reaction when you went from watching the Munsters TV show and then watching Pet Sematary? And then you find out that's Herman Munster.
Oh,
the mini Munsters. Right. Wait, the mini Munsters. That actually sounds familiar. I'm gonna have to look that shit up. Childhood was so long ago at this point.
I remember. I don't know. Like yesterday, I watched the horror show, and that is the movie that always gets swapped with Shocker.
Okay, yeah, all right. So we talked about that. Yeah. Horror show's so good though.
It really is.
It's so good. It's a very underrated
It
film.
came on, I was like, wait a minute, this is the fucking movie where the dude gets electrocuted and he turns into like a lightning bolt. Just appears out of nowhere, and I was like, yep, sure is.
Yeah, and Shocker's the one where Duder's in the fucking TV. Like he just jumps through different electrical appliances.
Yeah, I always got confused as a kid. Apparently, I still do.
Chad, you wearing a Wu-Tang shirt right now?
Yeah.
I was just making sure. I saw Cream in my head. I was like, Cream, get the money, dollar bill, y'all. And I was like, I bet that's what that shirt is. Yep. I love the fact that it looks like a Dare shirt. What else does it say underneath it?
Cash
does it say? There we go. Cash was everything around me. That's okay. That's awesome.
I've had this for a while. I think I've worn on here before.
Yeah, the mini Munsters is on YouTube.
Is it?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I know what I'm doing later.
And that the one from the '90s, the pilot episode, is on there as well.
Oh, Jesus.
God.
Yeah, it didn't get picked up, so it's probably something special.
Yeah, it's at the least.
Man, an hour's going by already. We could go all night on this show.
You should talk about the first time you ever met Butch Patrick.
I don't think we should.
Come on, Mike, tell it.
What was up with the first thing?
Grandpa, you're a genius. Naturally.
Grandpa, I drove all the way around the block.
What kept you?
The gasoline pill episode.
I swear to fuck, I love their banter back and forth. I love how Grandpa gets so annoyed with he gets so annoyed with Herman. And it's just so great. That's yeah. So, what was it that you were so weird about talking about, Butch Patrick?
I'll pull up another clip. I don't give a fuck.
No, I want to hear this. What do you know? No.
Patrick at like the first con I ever went to way back whenever I was, I guess, 18 or something.
Long story short, I was a drunken idiot.
Oh, continue, Chad.
It's better if Dave tells it.
I don't want to tell it.
Do it.
Oh, come on. Come on.
But now this is going to be on the internet.
So?
He'll probably be like, watch this episode and be like, that's that fucking asshole.
In the words of the old woman in Freddy's Dead sitting next to Dude in the airplane, don't be such a pussy.
Dave's about to tell you what happens whenever he drinks like 8 White Russians.
Oh, God. Here we
Rewind. 2004.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. I'm positive it was 2004 because the Chappelle Show episode of Rick James had just come out.
I was older than that.
Keep that in mind. It's important later. So Mike, Chad, and I go to a con. Butch Patrick is there. This is in my 20s, anytime we went somewhere, I frequented the bar. I usually went straight to the bar. And I'm sitting there, have a couple beers. This couple comes in, and the woman orders a White Russian. I'm like, oh, a White Russian. Damn, I haven't had one of those in a long time. I'll order that. Well, a White Russian is meant to be sipped, enjoyed. I pound the motherfuckers. I think I had like, what? How many did I have?
I don't know,
I
man.
don't know.
Me and Mike were in the con, and Dave disappeared.
The rule with me in those days, if I start calling the bartender by his first name, it's time to go.
Miles.
Old Miles was his name. So anyway, Butch Patrick comes into the bar, and I go, Eddie Munster. Come on, Eddie. Darkness is spreading. It's Eddie Munster. Come here, buddy. This is Miles. He makes really good White Russians. You should have one.
Did it sound just like that?
It sounded just like that. I'm trying to do the Rick James voice from the show that it had just come out like that week. So not everybody knows about it yet. They get me out of there. As we're walking outside to the car, there is nobody out there because we go out the back. There's nobody there.
All right.
Except for this one girl that's walking in our direction. I still have the glass in my hand of the White Russian. I took it with me. Dave, you can't take that. It'll be all right. So we pass this one girl, and I go up to her and say, hey, baby, what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Chad tries to stop me, and Mike's just like, just go, because they know what's coming. And she's like, how many of those have you had? Never mind now, baby. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? And finally she goes, what? And I go, slap. I didn't smack her in the face. Don't cancel me. I just like tapped her on the arm. And then we left.
Good time.
I guess he had to
Are you shit? Are you
ever?
Years later, I met him.
That's
again,
great.
and I apologized. He didn't know who I was.
Oh, that's probably
It made
the
me feel
best.
better.
Dude, you know what? I can't. I get it though. Unfortunately, I'll never get a chance to redeem myself. But when I met Sid Haig, I was an idiot. It was a very. I wasn't drunk, but I had been drinking a little bit. Huh?
Ronnie's like, that was a great pickup line. I was like, well, she talked to me, so it worked.
Yeah. What was her reaction after that?
She was just like, what the fuck is this guy on?
She looked like she
Oh
was
my
looking for an adult.
Security.
I mean, you didn't hear the theme song, did you? Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Damn, Dave being a renegade back in the day.
Oh, that was good stuff.
Rebel.
Never called me a renegade before.
I think they ever will again.
I think it's great. It's what we all have our drunk moments. I might be having one now. But we all have our drunk moments. We all do stupid shit, whatever. When you have a drunk moment with a celebrity, it's even better. I mean, of course, you have to get over the embarrassment and God, what an idiot I am, and all that shit. And you go, in the future, it's just great. It's like, yeah, so I did. There was this one time I got drunk, so and so, whatever the fuck. I've had a few moments like that, and it takes a little bit to not feel like a complete ass. And now I could share some stories. We don't have time. Where I've gotten drunk, stoned, and completely wrecked with a few celebrities, and have not ever been able to redeem myself for the stupidity in which that I have endured in myself.
Well,
so it's
unfortunately,
okay.
Like as it turned out, when you're sitting in the bar, a lot of the celebrities will go into the bar. And I mean, they weren't always stupid moments like that. Like I sat and got drunk with Eric Bischoff at one time. That was fun.
You look like his brother. I mean,
I was almost in the middle of a fight with Steve Austin and Billy Gunn one time.
That is the worst fucking possible scenario a person in a bar would ever want to have. I almost got in a fight with fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin and who else?
Oh, I wasn't there. I moved.
And Billy Gunn?
I moved out of the way. I wasn't. No.
Fuck that. You see Billy Gunn?
Yeah, he was mouthing off. He was an obnoxious drunk. That he was mouthing off.
Yeah, I've heard things.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no. God damn,
They're
Dave.
not all Butch Patrick moments, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
That was just the worst.
And again, you could pull off Eric Bischoff's like kid or brother.
Oh well, thank you. I'll take that.
I mean, I think you. I mean, I honestly, like, if you were side by side, I'd say you all were related. You never know. You know, just like if me and Uncle Fester were staying next to each other, I'm sure there was probably. If I didn't have, if I didn't have the facial hair, I could also say that I have minions. Because I have no chin. See, so if I have a big nose and a bald, yeah, whatever. But yeah, way off topic. Way off topic, Chuck. What the fuck's your problem, asshole? Oh, what? Those drunk moments. Yep, having one. We're having fun here. It's good times. The Munsters, man. One of the all-time greatest TV shows of all time. Funny, goofy, got a good moral at the end of it. Can't say enough good things about the fucking Munsters show. And the movie, I loved it. Goddamn, I loved it. Holy shit. I thought I was going to fucking hate this movie. And here I am fucking like singing its fucking praises. I'm over here, like, I go from being the guy that's like, this movie's going to be fucking hot garbage. It's going to suck so bad. And then, like, I find myself watching it going, God, I'm really loving this movie. Man, there's going to be a lot of shocked people tomorrow. And it's the truth. I amend, is that the right word? Amend? Rob Zombie, even though I don't think that this needed to happen. The Munsters movie, it wasn't meant to happen. It never needed to happen, but at the same point, gay frogs. It didn't have to happen. The movie didn't really, there was no business for this being remade, but it was, and I think it was done in a way that pays a good homage to the original show. And it is again, Herman Munster. The guy didn't do a horrible job, but that voice. It wasn't. I thought it was going to be Sherry Moon that was going to piss me off. No, it's Herman's voice that gets to me. There's times where I'm like, okay, it's funny, but if it was just a little deeper. But other than that, I really did enjoy this. It was a good time. I eat my words, and a lot of other people, like I said earlier, are eating their words too on it. So, you know, if you watched it once and you didn't care for it, watch it again. You know, if you got kids, watch it with your kid. Believe me, you'll appreciate it more because you can go like, hey, so here's this music over here. This is White Zombie, and this is, you know, Rob Zombie's, like, you know, solo stuff. Hey, here's the Munsters. Rob Zombie made this movie. And then boom, the kid likes that fucking movie. Then you show them the show if you haven't already been a great parent and showed them before. You know? Those guys are at Monster Mania this weekend.
Yeah, all the guys from the new Munster movies are going to be at the Monster Mania Con this weekend outside of Baltimore.
Even Sherry Moon?
No.
I mean, let's be honest here. Who saw that as a shocker? No,
I'm pretty sure
Sherry
everybody
Moon,
with them too.
yeah, Sherry Moon. She's allowed to be in every Rob Zombie movie, but she's not allowed to ever go to meet and greets. There's been so many movies and so many like where I've seen like when Lords of Salem came out. Nope, she was never on any of those. Well, Devil's Rejects. Nope, she wasn't on any. I never saw her as a guest on anything. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So,
Hey, Mike, where did you get them whenever you got my Devil's Reject signed by her and Rob? You're still here.
at first up of it said Sherry doesn't do cum, and then I realized what that said because I'm on a phone, so it's really small, and I was like, God, I'm sure that Rob would beg to differ.
High protein diet.
Oh Lordy, Lordy, have mercy on my soul.
I think Monster Mania Con up in Jersey looks a lot better than the one in Hunt Valley.
Chuck froze.
He did freeze. Frozen. I was wondering where you got that signed at. Chuck, where'd you go?
Well, as soon as Chuck gets back, we'll wrap this up
If he comes
and
back.
tell you kids what we're doing here next week.
Hopefully he jumps out and jumps back in real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Slid out for a minute. Dun, dun, dun.
There we go. All the reviews I saw, they were all bad. I haven't seen like any good ones.
No.
Meh.
Closing.
Meh.
Well.
Hey, can you see me?
No.
Oh,
Darkness
fuck.
is spreading.
Darkness.
Win, brother, darkness.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you leave again?
He left again.
Close that shit out. Wait for him to jump back in here. Dun, dun, dun. Burrow. You go. There he is. There we go. Ta-da!
All right, can you see me now?
Yes.
God damn. Fucking stupid ass bullshit.
Bullshit.
All right.
Bullshit.
Well, as you
All
can see,
right.
Halloween season has begun. We have kicked things off tonight with the Munsters, but next week, well, let's have a look what we're doing next week.
Extreme heat.
Trust me. Cut that together.
Yes.
That was a quick
Hell yeah.
It should always
Dude,
old.
I've been waiting for this upcoming episode for so long.
For months.
Yeah, dude.
We've talked about it numerous times after our show.
Please take off the cloak of invisibility, Chuck. What?
It has been removed.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Told you that one.
Lance is supposed to be at Scarefest next month. That's in Lexington, Kentucky, about 30 minutes away from here. Supposed to be going. My mom's working it this year again, so and my son's supposed to be going, so I might be introducing my son to Lance Henderson. So I'm fucking excited.
We got to get him to cut a promo for us.
Are you all supposed to be going and meeting him at all?
I don't know. That's kind of up in the air because Pittsburgh's sketchy in December.
I get
Roro. There we go.
God damn. My phone went off. I've done this entire time and then it went off.
But I could actually see like your face on our end was actually full screened on the other angle you had. That's the weird thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Coolio died?
Really?
Yeah. I meant to say that earlier. He had a heart attack at a friend's house.
God damn.
God.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you got a shot there, Chad.
I
You got a
don't.
shot. Okay. Well, raise your glasses to Gangsta's Paradise himself, the man that knew how to take a fantastic voyage. Rest in peace, Coolio.
Damn.
That's crazy. He just played a Rocky Gap like 4 years ago.
Yeah. Man, it's fucking crazy, man. All the legends are passing away. See, there was something else I wanted to say real quick.
Whatever.
I don't remember now.
Was it about Lance?
Oh,
Lance?
yeah. Yeah, I am so excited about this episode because I'm trying to think in my head my top three, because I've mentioned one of my favorite films with him in before with the Jean-Claude Van Damme episode. So I might have to like exclude that one out, even though it's one of my favorites. I don't know.
See, I was
We're gonna see. I ain't sure. We're gonna figure it out. And which one?
Hard Target. He was really good in that.
Oh, dude, he was such a good bad guy. Oh, it's just an amazing actor, amazing character actor. The guy's a badass, and also can't forget about Millennium, which was, in my opinion, more entertaining than X-Files. Sorry, I said it. I fucking said it. I said it.
Like I said, I don't like this kid. Mike's a big X-Files fan.
Well, I'm sorry. No, I like X-Files, but for some reason, man, Millennium just, it was probably because of Lance Henderson. I've been a fan of him since I was a kid, man. There was just something about him. He just always had that voice, and he always like had a cigarette lit, and he was always just, and Hard Target was one of the movies that fucking did that. But I digress. Maybe that's not the word I'm thinking of to say, but fuck this kid. Kid, 2 years away from 40. I ain't no kid. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I like X-Files. I do like X-Files, and I've got tons of VHSs of X-Files episodes in there. Thank you, Whitman. So no hate to X-Files because it was some of my favorite shit, but X-Files didn't have Lance Henderson. So that's my fight on that one. Anyway,
that's next week, and that's what we're doing. Returning to the top three. So pick your top three Lance Henriksen movies and join us in the chat next week. Before we lock up the store, has anybody got anything going on that they want to plug? Plug away.
My band Bastards. What? My band Bastard Sons of a Judas Go. We are once again. We were invited to play the Mountains of Metal Part 7. We played Part 2 a few years ago, and after miscommunications and some bullshit, we're back on the roster, and we're excited about it. A lot of good bands, a lot of old friends. And that's going to be in London, Kentucky. Let's see, October 14th and 15th. Some great bands from around Tennessee and Kentucky. I think Ohio too, maybe. Bands like Necro Winter, Storm Toker, Us. There's so many. And my fucking phone. God damn it.
You're still there, I think.
Am I?
Yeah, you're still there.
Okay. A lot of killer bands. It's going to be a good time. You've got everything from sludge to death metal to black metal inspiration and whatnot. But yeah, so that goes on October 14th and 15th. Go to the Bastard Sons of Judas Goat Facebook page, man. You'll find the flyer on there. I'll be posting them periodically. Until then, fellas, I think you have what I'm getting ready to talk about in your possession. The other podcast, one of the other, yeah, we go. One of the other podcasts I'm a part of, Tell Us in the Podcast /2G1C. We put out a comic book right there in front of your eyes that Chad is holding up, Tales of Shock and Terror, written by myself, JB Bustle, Uncle Ron, put out by Cutthroat Comics, and artwork by Drew Moreland. If you like EC Comics, if you like Tales from the Crypt, you're going to love it. Go to tellsfromthepodcast.com. You can find everything about the podcast there, as well as where to buy the comic book. We were actually little secret. Don't tell nobody. Part 2 is about ready to be started. So get part 1 while you can, and yeah, just check it out. Do that shit. And also, I also have to throw out the other 2 podcasts I do, because I never give myself time to breathe. Nasty Nation, that I do on Anchor. You can also find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and everywhere else to listen to that shit. It's usually me just bitching about things in the world, with the occasional interview from different musicians. Graveyard Talk, you can find on the same platform as Anchor. It's all the kind of same thing. Graveyard Talk, my buddy photographer Whitman, who's also a horror fan. We talk about horror movies as well. Kind of similar to everything else I fucking do in the podcast world. But hey, I have a good time, and I don't care who fucking doesn't like it. Check all that shit out. That's my shit. I'm Chuck Nasty. That's it.
And thank you again for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook at Video Store Clerks. Thank you again for joining us. We are your clerks. I'm Dave.
Jabbing.
I'm Chuck.
Have a good night. Eddie Munster!
It's not a legacy I want to leave behind, but I am Chuck Nasty.
How the fuck am I out of whiskey already today? This shit can't be any fucking good.
Welcome to the store.